Okay, we are live, Hatal,
We are live.
and happy. I don't know where it was. Was it snowing where you were just recently?
Well, it was in the morning, so I woke
Oh,
up in the morning and just at least just around maybe till noon, we had flurries, and I'm like, wait a second, I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt over the weekend, and this doesn't sound right. But let's be realistic, we're still mid-April, guys, so reality check, yeah.
it was so weird because I just saw this blizzard come in, and now the sun is out within an hour. It's just,
Yeah.
it's
It's
crazy.
super sunny right now, and I think I'm sure it's not shorts weather, but it's nice and sunny outside again, so that's good to
Yeah,
see.
yeah. Well, I'm so and this, you can probably see the sun is coming in through my window here, so hopefully I won't get blinded. But I'm so glad to be here with you today to celebrate your big leap. I can't wait to hear more about that, and I really appreciate you sharing your experience with everyone on what you got out of being in the Big Life program. But before that, I just want to give you a chance to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do and all the amazing things that you're doing in the world. So take it from the top.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for having me on this today and sharing my experience with everyone. My name is Hetal Kara. I've been a big lifer and part of the TIR program for about a year now, maybe just over a year. I am a defense contractor by trade. That's my day job, and I'm a real estate investor as well as a philanthropist, and this journey has been fantastic. And I'm just going to jump in and say, I think for me, meeting Cheryl, joining this program couldn't have come at a better time just about 12 to 14 months ago. I think it's probably one of the best decisions I ever made in recent times. And just when I was probably in my career, in my personal life, and in life in general, feeling stuck, a little weighed down, feeling underwhelmed and disappointed in many of, in my current station in life, I think joining this program was probably one of the best decisions because it made me shift from where I was, where I wanted to go, and even to where I am right now. My journey is not complete. I'm still on that journey. But stark difference I see in myself and people around me see in me from where I was a year ago to where I am today. So thank you for
Right.
that, Cheryl.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. And I remember like when we first met, I think you came to one of my workshops. Which one? It was a good one too. It was I think it was like the Freedom Workshop.
I believe it was a Freedom Workshop. I'm sure if I look back at my notes, I'll tell you exactly which one, but it was a Freedom one, I believe. Yeah.
It was the Freedom Workshop, and it was really about crashing through, fear and doubt and worry, and really stepping into what you want in life. And so when you think about that, when you think about where you were and where you are now, what has changed for you?
Oh, big difference, big change. And I think everything you mentioned was in one way or another affecting the life that I was living, or the life that I was at that point destined to live and follow, the path to follow. And one of the main things that I see myself doing now is that I still do what I used to do in terms of care for the people, do things for the people, stick myself out and help those in need. But I've now started putting myself first. This is something I didn't do before. And I remember something you said to me um, in my very first few weeks was, if I put myself first, if I win, everybody else around me wins. And that stuck with me. And I think I used that as a starting step, as a preamble to a lot of the things that I was wanting to take from this journey. And where I see myself today, big difference. And I see myself in a very good, positive, and proud way. Like when I look back a year ago from today, and I was like, wow, there was nothing wrong with me then, I'm sure, but wow, look at the leaps that I've made. Look at the changes that I've made in my life to get to where I am today. And it's been a great journey. It's been fantastic so far.
I love it. So what are some of the changes? I know you started you started your real estate ventures. So yeah, tell us about some of the changes that have occurred.
Yeah, I mean, before I get into the professional side of things, one of the biggest thing in my personal life was, crashing through terror barriers and making decisions a lot more easier. I would probably dwell on a decision or decisions, and sometimes that would either cause me to miss an opportunity or look back and say, okay, well, this is not a good fit for me, whereas it would have been had I made the decision right there and then on the spot. So from a personal point of view, those small changes not only helped me in my personal life or as an individual, but those things also helped me in my professional life in terms of starting my own real estate business, starting my defense consulting business on the side. So a lot of those changes would have not come about had I not made these small changes from the get-go in the last 12 to 14 months. So where I am right now is I own a real estate investing company. We've already closed on one good deal in the last couple of weeks. There's one on the horizon that looks like it's going to close in the coming week. So these are changes, and these are positive changes that I see in myself. And probably 6 months ago, if someone told me this is what you're going to be doing in April of 2023, I'd probably laugh at them and say, no, that's probably not happening. That's not the way it works. I'm going to wait for a lot of things to come on my plate rather than going out and getting a hold of those things and then putting them on my plate. So big differences. I have so much to talk about, and I know we have limited time, so I will try and keep my excited levels at bay as well. So yeah.
I love it. So far we've heard I'm putting myself, I'm taking better care of myself so I can take care, because I know for you, like, family is really important to you, community is really important to you. And, one of the things that we know about you is that you're always there for anyone and everyone who needs you. And that could be challenging when you've got your own hopes and dreams too, right? So the fact that you've been able to learn how to do both more successfully and easier is amazing, because it is true. When you put, make yourself a priority and take care of yourself, you're going to be a better version of yourself for those around you, right? So you've made yourself a priority. You've got your corporate job, and you've got a consulting business, and you've got a real estate investment business. I mean, that's pretty cool. And because all of that leads to more revenue, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the reason why we do what we do, and that is designing a life on your own terms, being able to live the life you want, whether that's a life of leisure and luxury, or whether that's a life of serving other people. And in my case, it's probably a bit of both. And I knew that if I wanted to live that life, I needed to make changes in my own life and on my own personality to begin with. And going back to the first point, that probably one of the best decisions I made in recent times. So kudos to the program, and kudos to you again, Cheryl. Yeah.
Love it. I love it. Well, and it's you're really creating this life that's going to build freedom for you, and you joined the Freedom Workshop to kick it off for you. And so that ties into the last piece, which I know is your passion, right? Your passion, your philanthropy work, and some of the things that you're doing. And as you kind of build like these little building blocks around taking care of you and the people around you, building this, generational wealth and this legacy that then allows you to have more freedom and time to give back to the community so tell us about some of your plans for that. Because I think, I think we all want to hear about the good stuff and the impact that, doing this work allows us to do. So yeah, tell us about your philanthropy.
Absolutely. It's a passion, it's a dream, and it's a legacy that I'm following. Growing up in Africa, I always saw my father give a lot back to charity, and not only in Africa, but even in other parts of the world where the needy, required some sort of assistance. And with him gone, he instilled this in me that, if you have it in you to give, and you have the means, continue doing the good work. And I think that stuck with me in more than one ways. I have a dream, and one of the dreams is that I want to build a school in Africa in my hometown, or at least in villages close to my hometown where there is a need, and build a school for the needy in terms of orphan children, um, children who are blind, deaf, mute, or even children who are abandoned because of diseases such as HIV/AIDS. So in order for me to get to my goal there, this is something I'm working, as you mentioned, collectively towards, and I will get there. That is the end goal. But building the school is one of my biggest aims. I've already started doing what I can from a groundwork point of view to get that project up and running. We've had multiple conversations about that with yourself, Cheryl, as well as individuals on our group as well. And I know for a fact that with everyone's support and with the support that everyone's willing to put in as well, I know I already have a team of people I can count on. But that's been a big dream. Eventually, even extending that school from one part of the country to another part, or even to other countries, is a long-term goal. And that is something that I am probably dedicating a good portion of my work when it comes to charity and giving back. So that's the big dream that I'm hoping and know that I will accomplish at one point.
Absolutely. I know you will too. I know. And I know it means a lot to you to do it in your community, where you in your father's legacy, really, right? Like your legacy, your father's. So so many good things are happening for you. And I think that's what I love about, doing this work, is that it really does bring us the freedom to choose, and the freedom to design the life that we want, and the freedom to make a bigger impact in our own lives and in the world. So I'm so happy for you. What's it like to do this work in a group full of people all going on the same journey?
It's fantastic, and I cannot stress that enough. I'm going back to multiple conversations where people have not only shared things on a call where they probably wouldn't have, and a lot of us haven't even met in our group, in person. When I say met in person, yet people are open to each other, they're honest with each other, and I think that's such a beautiful thing to see. You don't see that in the day and age we live in right now. People don't share things with their own family members, and this is a group of individuals who come together and share things and are open, they're vulnerable, they're trusting, and in return, everyone on the group is respectful and giving the support that other person needs. My own example, I will go back to a call maybe 7-8 weeks ago where everyone on the call had to say one nice thing about me, and that almost brought me to tears. I know it was Cheryl's mission to make me cry that day. Happened off camera, but you know what? It's something that stands out with me, and there was something that was so special for me. So I know for a fact that group, wherever you start, you may come in halfway through the program, but the moment you start gelling and understanding what you're doing in that group of like-minded individuals, you become a family. And that family is something that has been so special for me in my journey for the last several months. And it's something that I'd highly recommend to anyone who's willing to join our family as well, of course. Yeah.
I love it. The BIGlife family.
BIGlife family. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so true. Like, it amazes me how and I feel so grateful to have been able to attract people who are willing to be, because I know my clients are courageous, and I know they're willing to, to be vulnerable and allow themselves to go deeper, because that's really the key to growth, right? Is that we're willing to do that. And that just, it just amazes me that you can come into this group, you can, we're all over the world, we're all in different places, and just be so open and vulnerable, and there's no judgment at all. So I'm grateful for that. So thanks for that reminder. So if you were to say one thing to someone who was thinking about doing this work in this program, being in this community, what would you want to say to them, Hital?
Wow. I'm going to say the same thing I said to myself, and I said at the beginning of the call, that it'll probably be the best decision you ever make in your life, or probably one of the best decisions you'll ever make. When you do this work, you not only come close to yourself as an individual, you go deep, as we just talked about, but you also expand your horizons, you expand the capacity that your mind has, and that basically will enable to take you to the next level where you need to be, or where you deserve to be. I wish I'd made this decision sooner. But again, I'm grateful for when that came in my life, at the stage in life when it came. I probably needed it the most. So if you are thinking of doing this program, from someone who swears by this work and has seen success in this work, don't waste time. You need to do this, make that decision, and do what's right by you.
Do what's right by you. I love it. And really it is just it's just all for more growth and expansion, right? Because whatever we can, create in our mind, we can have we can hold in our hand, we can have in the physical form. And you're seeing that you're building this big, beautiful life and this legacy and this family, and all kinds of amazing things are coming your way. And I cannot wait for the ribbon cutting for that school. We're all here to support you on that.
And you will be there, as will everyone in our group. They will be there when that happens. And maybe we'll just have one of those tiara retreats out there. Did we say Zanzibar? I'm just putting it out there.
We will be doing a retreat in Zanzibar after the ribbon cutting. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. We've loved having you in our group. And I know this is there's so much more to come. So we'll stay in touch. Okay.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for everything. And I appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.